All right. All right. Hi, everyone. It's 12:10 officially, and we're starting. So we have a good number on the call. Trying to switch on my video. Okay. Confirm you can hear me clearly. Confirm you can hear me clearly, please. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Cool, cool. Really good to be here. Amazing. Welcome to Scale Your Career Workshop. It's an amazing time. It's an amazing one for me. I'm really happy you guys signed up for it. I'm excited for all that is to come. Like there are certain goals that I set for this workshop. And the goals are actually not even for me, they are for you. They are things you should achieve by the end of this workshop. So I'm excited to pour out. I'm excited to teach you principles, things, everyone should know. And I know that it's going to be an amazing time. I'm going to call on two people, random people, to introduce yourself, maybe tell us what you're looking forward to the most from the workshop, and we'll kick off from there. So maybe we start out with Faizat. Faizat, if you can come on video, it would be very great. I would like to see your beautiful face. You can see your picture, but yeah, introduce yourself, your school, how you got to know about the workshop, and what you're looking forward to the most. Faizat, can you come off mute?
Okay, good afternoon. I'm trying to put on a hijab because I didn't expect to be on camera.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Okay, so while Faizat is setting up, Emmanuel, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you're looking forward to the most, and yeah, how you got to know about the workshop. Emmanuel, can you speak?
Yes, I can speak. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Royson, and I got to know about this session. Got to know about the workshop on LinkedIn, and I thought, because I'm also in the stage of getting into the workforce, even as I manage my startup. So I look forward to knowing more about crafting a good CV, preparing for interviews well, and lots more. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing, Emmanuel. Really appreciate it. It's nice to meet you. Faizat, are you ready for us now? Hi, Faizat.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
So
afternoon.
I this program because I feel like I've been trying to do a lot of things, and I just feel like having more insight about how to go about it is going to really help me in that journey.
Amazing, amazing. Cool. So everyone, welcome to Scale Your Career Workshop. It's amazing to be here. Like you guys have said, right, we're going to be looking at how to craft a winning CV today with even if you think you have zero to no work experience, the essence of this workshop is to teach you in practical terms, right? One thing I really like to do is make it very practical, actionable, teach you in practical terms how to take your zero work experience or your no work experience and turn it into something that will appeal to both your interviewers, your recruiters, the companies you want to work for, and just even have something that you can then build on for your future self. That's the whole purpose of the workshop today. Right. In terms of agenda, so I would go ahead to introduce myself. Clearly, why exactly do you even want to, or what makes me credible, or gives me the right to speak about this topic? So I'll introduce myself shortly. Then we look at why we're here today. Basically looking at, okay, so starting out with what exactly did we hear? What exactly did you guys say? Did you guys, provide in the form you filled that makes us gather today? The second thing is, what you learned from today's session. So different things you learned from the session. We look at, the personas. So I'm not sure, maybe we do a quick poll. If you've watched the YouTube video I created on how to write a perfect CV with no work experience, so zero work experience, can you just raise up your hand? So I want to know what's the starting point for a lot of us today. So Emmanuel has watched it, which is amazing. If you've watched, the question is if you've watched the YouTube video I made with like the one on how to write a perfect CV with no work experience. Okay, so a lot of you have actually now watched it, which is quite interesting. I was thinking so many people would know me from that one. But all good. But in that video, like I really spoke about basically the different sections of the CV, how to go about personas. So using personas to, explain how to write CVs, even if you think you have no work experience. So I brought in a couple of that to the session today. I would also just, put the link to I think my YouTube channel where you can like check out that video because it's quite detailed there. But basically bringing in screenshots of like or screenshots or what's a CV, what are the things that should be in your CV versus versus not, and then we then go into the main meat of the day, which is the personas. Right. And what do I mean by personas? I try to picture different scenarios of people in different walks of life, right? So maybe not putting myself as everybody would graduate with a first class or everyone would go to, universities where they have to go on internships. What if you don't, right? How exactly do you create a CV based off all of this experiences that you don't think you have? And then final words of advice, we conclude, and then we announce winners. So I think Isaac put it on the poll that we have 3, I call them favored winners today. Based off different criteria, I would announce them at the end. It would be very great if they're on this call. If they're not on this call, it may make us reconsider. We consider their wins, but yeah, and then we end with question and answer. So that's like overall agenda for today. If we move on to introduction, so who exactly am I? A couple of you know me, but I would assume a lot of you don't know me. So as a form of introduction, my name is Faith Adeshayo Oluwani. That's like my full name. Faith, people ask, Faith is my first name, Adeshayo is my middle name, and Oluwani is my surname. But I like my first name and my middle name being called together. So you can call me Faith Adeshayo. Who is Faith Adeshayo exactly? I like to see myself that my life is divided into several compartments. Let's put it that way. If I start out with work, I currently work as a consultant at BCG. BCG is Boston Consulting Group. I think a couple of you know that. Boston Consulting Group, it's a management consulting firm where we offer business advisory services, strategy advisory services to businesses. Right? You could check out BCG online to know more about what they do, but I'm a consultant at BCG for my 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 or 9 to 12, however the day goes by. When I'm not consulting, I have a YouTube channel. I think I spoke about it already, where I speak about basically like career, finance, personal development, self-development for, right? My target audience is early career graduates, early career professionals, recent graduates, or like, final year students. And why exactly am I focusing on this group of people? It's because I remember when I was graduating I graduated from Covenant University, I studied economics, and a lot of things I got to realize or got to know outside of school, I just wish I knew them, or I wish, there was some platform or some place in which, somebody was conveying all of this knowledge to me and it didn't have to take me learning and, unlearning and relearning from scratch. So that's literally why, I started the YouTube channel. I think over now, it's been almost a year now. And, videos that really worked well is videos that actually students or early graduates like you can relate with. So things around like CV, cover letters, interviews, like you can see on the screen, how do you get a job in a multinational even if you have like zero work experience, or how do you like tailor your CVs to like certain roles? How do you even become a better version of yourself? So the self-development part. and things around finances as well, to how to start investing with your first salary, how to basically use your money well to set up your future in a very good way. So everything, I think, people that are just graduating from school, people that are literally just about to do their NYSC, enter into the career world, things they need to know. That's all we do on the YouTube channel. Outside of YouTube, I have a career slash finance slash personal mentorship program. It's called TSS. So I think Austin on the group actually graduated from TSS this year. So hi, Austin. And what's TSS about? It's where it's like this immersive 3 months immersive program, right? Where all of the things I talk about on YouTube channel, all of the things, I will discuss in this ongoing workshop series. You have 3 months where we meet weekly and we basically immerse ourselves in these things so that in 3 months you're better off, so much more than you knew when you were graduating school and things like that. And finally, who else is Faith Adeshayo? So occasionally I get invited for career fairs or conferences, and things like that, where I speak about all of these things. So I feel like my scope of purpose centers around, it's not really going out of these 3 things. It's career, it's finance, it's self-development, and making sure career professionals like you guys are equipped with the skills you need across these areas. That is Faith Adeshayo in summary. Now, who exactly is in the room today? So we did conduct a survey, or just asked you to fill questions when you were filling the form. And we see that people in the room today fall into one of these categories. The first category is number 1, if you think, I'm trying to see my screen. Okay. So the first category, number 1, is if you're a final year student, right? So either you're a final year student or you recently graduated. So let's say you graduated in the last 1 or 2 years, or maybe you've graduated a while back, but you are actively applying for jobs. So all of you should fall within one of these categories. And which of this best describes you? The highest percentage of people that fill the form they think they have some work experience, but don't know how to present it well. All right, so these are the issues, and it was very important for us to conduct this survey to know exactly what the problem is so that you're sure that the solution is tailored to that problem, right? So yeah, the thing they don't have work experience at all, or something they have work experience but don't know how to present it well. And the last group thinks they have strong experiences, but my CV doesn't seem to get results. So all of this, whichever category you fall in, the goal today is to make sure that, you are equipped with more knowledge, more skills to make you land the job of your dreams. My goal is that everyone that gets into this workshop by 2026, if you're actually applying for jobs this year, one of the reasons you wouldn't get the job is not because of any CV or cover letter, right? And I even want to take this a step further to, okay, now that you've mastered your CV and your cover letter, what do you need to do in the interview process? How do we make sure, you're prepared and things like that to ensure that the overall employment rate in Nigeria, right? We're not part of the people that are unemployed, no. In our group, in our cohort, it is employment galore for those that want to get employed, right? Yep. So all of this is still setting introductions, by the way. So we asked as well, what's your biggest challenge with CVs or job applications right now? And the main thing, as you can see on the word cloud on the screen, the main thing that really stood out is people are not getting responses based off the CVs they are submitting, which I think is an easy problem that can be solved, right? So people are not getting responses and their CV is not tailored enough. Which is why, we are here today. So this is setting background for everything we'll be doing today. Now, why are we here? Finally, to wrap up the why we're here today section. Number 1 is you probably watched one of my YouTube videos, for those that did. Number 2 is you're probably a student and you're a graduate struggling with one big question. How do I even write a strong CV when I have no work experience? I've not done anything, right? All through my summer holidays, I was either writing ICANN or or just summer traveling, There's only one life. Or working with your parents or, something like that. So you feel like you don't have formal work experiences. The second is I think one thing that is important to know is the truth is we're not taught all of these things in school, which I think is a fundamental flaw, right? We're not taught how to apply for jobs. We're not taught how to write CVs, how to write cover letters, how to save your money, which are actually the skills you need outside. But that's not a discussion for today. Let's see how we can deal with that sometime in the future. Finally, today you will change that because we're going to leave this session with clarity, tools on how to build your CV with what you already have. So I realized that, most of you do not watch the YouTube video. So one thing we'll do after this session is to send you a template of a CV format you could use. If you listen well during the class, you should be able to literally just, refine the template to your specific scenario. Now, I have been talking a lot. I want to get feedback from you guys on just like how it's going, if you have any particular questions, things like that. Feedback. Before we continue the session. Maybe the question actually I want people to answer is, what are some things that you wish you were taught in school that life has showed you? You just wish you knew it. I can cold call. I don't want to do that, so I'll let you guys answer. All right, so no one is talking. Should I call on someone? Jason. Jason will be our first candidate for today. Jason, what's
Faith.
one thing you wish you were taught in school that life has shown you that you actually need?
Global relevance.
Okay, say more.
So we tend to think coming out of school that, oh, there's this big company down the road, or there's this big, let's say big four in Lagos or in Abuja that, oh wow, this will be so great. But then I've learned that the world is bigger than your state, bigger than your neighborhood, bigger than your street, that there is a whole lot of opportunities and you don't have to confine yourself to one small bracket. So it took me a while to learn that. I wish I had learned that earlier. I would have positioned myself better for global relevance, like I said at the start.
I like that. Thank you so much for sharing, Jason. Who wants to go next? Tosin. Tosin, you're on mute, so do you want to speak with us? Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
One of the things
afternoon.
I wish I knew, while in school, because I just finished October actually, and like this October was, being able to actually handle rejection. It's almost like I've been sending quite a number of the emails basically, but like nothing yet. It's almost like that silence is actually disturbing. It's worrying. It's like, what's going on? Am I doing something wrong? I'm just a girl, please. So I think that actually being able to, they are not even answering you. They are not just mute, silent. So it's actually quite, being able to handle rejection is actually something that I wish I knew.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. So whilst I can help with some of the things, we've shared today, which is good, my goal would actually be that, maybe for future workshops, we take a poll and we see, what are some burning questions that people have in their mind, and how do we just ensure that this knowledge is taught, maybe even for either final year students, recent graduates, to ensure that this knowledge is being passed across. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for sharing. Moving on. So now what's the problem today, right? Which I think some of you have started talking about. Well, number one problem is most people think they don't have formal work experience, right? If there's anyone on this call that you think like you don't have any work experience at all, you don't have any formal experience because, like I said, you spent your summer holidays in school doing other things that wasn't like going on internships. And so it's time for you to get a job, but your CV is Casablanca. Is there anyone on the call feeling like that they actually want to take a poll? Okay, I can't see any hands. So all of you here are superstars. Amazing. The second thing is most people think they have to pay someone else to to concoct a CV or cover letter for them, right? I think it was during my NYSC, so I served in Enugu State, and that was the first time ever that I saw someone saying, oh, he's about to pay someone maybe 5K then or 10K to write a CV for him. And the question was like, okay, so what's the person going to write? I'm like, have you spoken to the person before? They said, no, the person knows. Knows what exactly? So apparently there are actually people that, outsource their CVs to write, which I don't feel like it's a bad thing. But if the person is just writing blanks or the person is just writing things that look nice and you've not done anything, then that's illegal, right? The final thing is most graduates don't know how to identify or translate, their skill, volunteer experiences or project experiences into actionable things that, recruiters want to get on the CV. But I want everyone on this call to know that just believe that your starting point is not zero. Everyone, regardless of where you've come from, regardless of the school you went to, regardless of the work you've done, everyone has something to put on their CV. But all we need to do is think of how to refine everything you've done. It could literally be basic things as all through your summer holiday, you stayed home and you took care of your siblings. How exactly do you take that and, put it in a very professional, formal way that you could even use to apply to a multinational firm like Shell or Chevron? It's all about crafting these experiences. I was speaking with a recruiter just this week that passed. I wanted to understand from her, okay, so how exactly is the application process like in 2025? And this is a recruiter in a multinational firm. So, their standards are quite high, right? And I was speaking to her, okay, so what exactly is the application process like? And now with the likes of AI and all these softwares, what exactly are you looking out for in students? And one thing she said is, even if you have a very good, you have solid work experience, if you're not able to craft it well in a way that sells your value, you're not going to get the job. You're not even going to scale through that phase. And so the problem is not just people thinking they don't have any experience. Even people that have worked in Shell, in Chevron, I'm calling like names we know in Nigeria, in KPMG and in Exxon and things. If you still don't know how to craft and tailor this, it wouldn't really result in the outcomes you want. So that is all we're going to be looking at today. Now, let's start with what's a CV as a form of introduction. What's a CV and what's not a CV? A CV is a summary of your education, skills, and experience, right? Achievements designed to help you showcase to an employer why you're best fit for the job. What do I mean by this? A CV is basically the first interaction your interviewer or your recruiter would have with you. They don't know you from anywhere. They just know that they put out this job application and people are not, people are meant to apply, but they don't know them one-on-one. So your CV is that first interaction. So you want to make sure that your first interaction is good enough, right? First impression lasts longer. Your CV is not a personal biography, and I actually want to get our opinions there. So I have a question. Do you think your pictures, do you think your, let's say your marital status or maybe where you come from, do you think all of these things should be in your CV? I actually want to get answers from like 5 people. So Aurel, Bajesu, Joanne, I want people that haven't spoken today. Sharon, let's see 3 of you. What are some no's? Like, no, don't put this in your CV. Too much information and leaving room for discrimination. Okay, so that's what Faisal is saying, okay? Do you think you should put, Joanne is like, no, okay. I want more interactions from people. Do you think your picture, at least your picture is not really discriminating, and they can Google you and they'll see your picture? Do you think we should put no picture? Okay. What of, do you think you should put your house address in your CV? Your age shouldn't be there, where you live exactly, okay? Okay, so you guys agree. So no house addresses, are we sure about that? Just state and country. Okay, us then no. Okay, maybe the state and country. Okay, fine. And do you think your CV should have that profile? You know, where people put like profile, I am a motivated individual ready to change the world. Do you think, okay, I like Paisa's point. Putting in Oshoman applying for a job in Lagos sounds very risky. Paisat, I agree with you. In case they want you to be coming to Ikoyi every day and you're in Osho State, it won't really work that way. All right, to ask the question, do we think that professional, that profile, I'm a motivated individual seeking a challenging role in an organization that, I mean, people say, God, CVs will make you laugh. Okay, so I think Joanne says yes. Joanne says yes. Okay. Career objective. Israel say career objective. Tosi is the no to that. Okay, Jason said it depends. Okay. I actually want a lot of us to engage. Or about Jason, I haven't heard from you. Depending on whether you want to pivot. Okay. Yes, to sell yourself a bit. Okay. Any other person? I feel like we've gotten responses from people. All right, okay. So in my opinion, first of all of you are correct. There's no need to put your marital status, your gender, your house address, right? And I like the point that I'm not sure who said it exactly, because even if you know in your mind that you're willing to move houses, right? You're willing to move to Lagos, you're willing to move to Abuja, your recruiter is not the Holy Spirit that reads your mind. So if they only have slots for 5 people and 1,000 people are applying, you know that their assessment process is going to be very rigid. You don't want to cut yourself short by going to overexpose to say 22 Ogoluwa Street, Osho State, Nigeria. Unnecessary, right? It's not necessary. What you can put is, if it's already going to be like, if it's a remote role, fine for you to put just the state and the like your country, right? Osun State, Nigeria, Lagos State, Nigeria, whatever United States Kingdom, right? Another reason I think someone says also for security reasons, you never know who's reviewing your CV, right? I think for me, when I started writing my CV, I used to put my father's house address, number 1, this one close, this one. It's not really necessary. Not mean I got the job, right? So number 1, for security reasons, please don't put your house address. Number 2 is, if you know the role is in Lagos, the role is in Abuja, right? And you are not currently in Lagos or Nigeria, I would literally just put Nigeria. So Faith Adeshayo Oluwani, I'm currently in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're in Lagos, if you're in Ogun State, fine. If you know that, okay, you're not really sure where, the company is, okay, maybe you can check the company's location online, but you're not sure, right? I would literally just put Nigeria, right? Because I wouldn't say put Lagos, Nigeria, if you're actually not in Lagos, right? You want to be honest with your CV, I would just put Nigeria to be safe. But if you're in Lagos, if you know that, okay, I will actually move to Lagos for this role, Lagos, Nigeria, Ogun, Nigeria, right? If you know you will actually move to Lagos for this role, Lagos, Nigeria, or you're in Lagos now, you're in Ogun State, Ogun, Nigeria, things like that. In terms of the profile, I'm actually mixed about this. I'm not going to lie. Now, in the CV format I'll be sharing, and in all the CVs I've ever used to apply for jobs in my entire life, I've been working out for close to 5 years. In all my CVs, I have never put I am a motivated individual looking for this, looking for that. I've never put, right? But I've also seen individuals that used it and it worked for them. So I don't think that one is a no. I would put it as maybe. And the reason I'm putting it as maybe is because it might work, it might not work. For those that do decide to use it, one thing you shouldn't now put is making it your life story, making it seem like a motivational speech. That's not it. Someone said, okay, I think depending on whether you want to pivot, it was Emmanuel that said it like that. So for example, imagine you've done consulting all your life and you want to move to tech. You could use that space, right, as a form of explanation as to why you're even applying for the job, right? I'm a motivated individual with over X years consulting experience, you know, looking to move to tech because of ABCD reasons, right? Or consultant, but I have skills with Python, Java, whatever, looking to translate the tech side into business things. Like, just give 1 or 2 sentence context as to why you are making that career switch, so that you don't leave your recruiters just like saying, what exactly is going on here? I don't know if I'm making sense. You guys can just like show me with like thumbs up. Okay, makes sense. All right, thank you. So I know you guys are following. But what's my opinion? I do not think it's a do or die thing, depending on what you prefer. People have used it and it's worked well. I have not used it and it's worked well for me as well. So you need to decide when you're using it. If you do decide, because your CV at the end of the day, we'll get into it, shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 pages. So if you know you're still trying to, you know, squeeze for space, you can do without it. But that's my opinion. All right, so I liked the interaction section. We'll continue this. But what is a CV? Like I said, it's not your personal biography. It's your what? I call it is either your marketing statement or I'm trying to see my screen. Okay, I can see my screen. Or your professional snapshot, right? Is to give an overview of everything you've done in your professional life. Cool. Now, I'm mindful of time, but what are the components of your CV, right? And like I said, this is based off my experiences. This is based off like all the research I've done so far. This is based off discussions with people. Imagine you do decide to bring your the profiles or objective section, then that, you know, that would also come in. But this is like based on what I've done. So typical CVs should have like 6 sections. Number 1 is your background and profile, right? Which is basically what you can see on the screen. So your name, your location, your phone number, your email address. And actually, you know, realized recently that a lot of people now put in their LinkedIn profiles on their CVs because the world is becoming very global. There is no way a serious firm that wants to hire you wouldn't, especially if it's like a very sensitive role, they will check you out online. So you could just literally put your LinkedIn profile there, save them the stress of having to like Google you or anything. They click on it, they see, they can tally what you are submitting with what you are saying online, right? So yes, please, and please, if you haven't, your LinkedIn profile is like a definitely ad. It's a definite ad for you to include. Then your education section. One point I want to pass across, and I'm not going to go through all the details. I want to focus on the work experience section, which is where, you know, the meat really is. But education section, most people just put bachelor's of economics or bachelor's of science or whatever. Let's use what's on the screen. Bachelor's of science in economics, first class or second class upper. This one, university, full stop. No context. Now, one thing that I saw, and it was my friend, like, let me brag for her. She got into Harvard and I asked her for her CV. What she did was qualify almost everything she put in this CV, especially, so Jason said something about global relevance and global experience. You don't know where this CV is going to. This CV could be used for a job in Nigeria. It could be used for a job in the Hagues. It could be used for a job in Netherlands where nobody knows Covenant University or nobody knows University of Lagos is the best, is all Akukites. They don't know you people, right? So you want to qualify whatever it is you're saying. Qualify your university. So for example, if I went to Covenant is like the best university in Nigeria. It's consistently ranked like the best university, well, top 3 in West Africa, top 3 in Africa. You are qualifying your degree so that someone in Denmark that doesn't know Covenant University already, that okay, if you graduated with a first class from this university that has won recognized awards, meaning that okay, like it's a credible degree they can respect. But you see, most people today, they just put University of Lagos, Nigeria, full stop. University of this, they did a full stop. And they expect the Holy Spirit to minister to the heart of the recruiters that they are the best for the job. It wouldn't work like that. So your education section, as much as possible, just think of it. If it's UI, sorry, I think it's OAU or UI, which one of them? I think it's OAU or UI. I don't know, you guys correct me. Premier University in Nigeria, established for over years. Like something that would help your university. What's the word? I feel like saying it in Yoruba, but some of you will not understand, but something that qualifies the degree that you currently carry. Does that make sense? All right. You guys are not responding, so it's hard for me to gauge. Does that make sense? Okay, I can see thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To give you credibility, to qualify your degree, right? If you see the what's on the screen, so top X university in the world, in Nigeria, according to X ranking, according to that, Google it, all these universities, they pride themselves in the best university in terms of science and education ranking, and we have published 20 papers. The university already has all of that on their website. Your job is just to go qualify, get it, and put it in your CV, right? So that's one thing I want to pass across. If you haven't watched that YouTube video, I spoke on everything. I'm not going to spend time here. Please go and watch it. Would Isaac, if you can please send the link to the YouTube video in the chat box for those that haven't, that'll be good. Now, let's move on to the other thing. So, typical CV, we'll come to work experience section later, but background and profile, which is number 1. Then we have your education section, you have your work experience. Then we move on to the leadership experience section, volunteering engagements. And then the 6th is professional affiliation, skills, and interests. The final thing I would say here before we now go into like personas and things like that is some people ask me, should I put like honors, awards, I have my icon, like what should be in my CV and what's actually not relevant? The simple answer to that question is it depends. And what do I mean it depends? If I was applying to a consulting firm and I have my icon, I have my ACC, I have my CFA, I have, all of these exams I write this day, maybe I need to put it. If I'm applying for a leadership role, maybe I don't need to put it, right? So it depends. Some of the experiences you have, you even need to tweak it, right? And I don't want to jump the gun, but a good example is, okay, so I wrote my icon I'm a student of accounting. Let's use a practical example, economics. But all through my summer holidays, I was sitting out for ICANN. So I graduated as a chartered accountant, etc. In my education section, everything I've said before I even go into work experience, because you spent all your years, all your summer holidays in school writing ICANN. That means you did not really have the opportunity, or you couldn't afford to be going on KPMG internships with all your colleagues, or McKinsey doesn't have internships, or ADAX. So I'm giving you things I did, right? You literally did not have the opportunity of writing your ICANN. Now, if I was in your situation, what would I do? I would put my education section first. Immediately, before I even go to work experience, I would literally bring it like professional certifications and something that's already. See, the old thing with CV is packaging yourself. If you were living with one word, is you need to package yourself. It's all about packaging yourself. Before they get into the work experience section, like they've already seen you maybe you graduated with a 2.1, so your CGPA, you graduated in a top university, premier university in Nigeria with this rankings, this rankings. Before they even get to the work experience section, they've already saying, oh, this person is a chartered accountant too. Wow, at a very young age. Wow, I'm so impressed. Wow. Right? And so the things that qualify you, the things that showcase that you're good. Imagine like, oh, you're a chartered accountant, and because you really wanted to do consulting, then you now went to write maybe project management certification, or you attended, one of these McKinsey programs, one of these Bain programs, some of these BCG programs, right? So you already have a certificate. Like those things that attract the interviewer, the recruiter. Just put it as a different section. In my CV today, the way it is arranged is education. Before I even get into work experience, I have what I call honors, awards, and scholarships. Just like before you even know, I solved this problem, right? It just positions you better. And then go into work experience. Now, this is for someone that you know, you don't have big names on your CV. You don't have things that, you know, really, really like position you for the job, that if they were to weigh someone that's just KPMG, all of these, you know, you may not really stand at par with them because you don't have these big names. I'm saying that you've done something in your life. So make those things come first, right? And just frame it as either professional certifications, and then go into work experience section afterwards. Any questions? Any questions? Because I might have confused some people now with what I just said. Any questions? Questions? No questions? No questions? All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. We have less than 1 hour to go, and I want to wrap up before 2 p.m. so we can have time for questions. Now, we explored 3 personas today, right? And this persona is supposed to represent people from different walks of life. Sorry, guys, give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm here. This persona is meant to represent people from different walks of life. So the first is Shade. Who is Shade? So imagine yourself, as I'm thinking about this personas, I want you to reflect. Shade is a university student, right? Let's say Shade she's attending University of Lagos. She's on a 2nd class upper. She hasn't really had like formal internships in KPMG or even in a random national company or a bank. But one thing Shade likes to do, she loves it, is she loves like campus activities. So you see Shade in campus life, you see Shade in all of these things. Like Shade dwells there. She's the one you see engaging. She's the class rep, she's the event planner, she's everything. That's Shade, vibrant person, right? So that's our first persona. The second persona we'll be looking at is Ahmad. Ahmad is more serious, he's a tech bro. Now, Ahmad is still an engineering student. He's probably in his 300 or 400 level student, but he's so interested in tech. So he has taught himself like how to code. He's taught himself how to do all of these tech things online. And, you know, he really wants to do this thing in future. It's just that he's not sure how. But you know, there's some people that they are just passionate about things. They're passionate about singing. They're passionate about music. So Ahmad is that like passionate guy. He's just passionate about tech. Then we have Chigo. Chigo, on the other hand, is different from everybody. Chigo is a social impact person, you know, volunteering in church, volunteering in his fellowship at home, volunteering in this. It's part of all of the non-governmental organizations you can find on this world. That's Chigo. But all of them, one thing is they don't have formal work experience. And what do I mean by that? They didn't go on internships when they were in school. Shade, Ahmad, and Chigo, they're about to enter their final year now. And in school, their parents already say, with this your degree, you cannot come and sit down in my house. So please, please, and please, you must do something great with your life. So they're thinking of, okay, where are the top companies in Nigeria today? How do I get into them? And they have come to Fitade Shayo to say, Fitade Shayo, you are becoming the CV master. Please help my career. Right? So we're going to be looking at how exactly do we help Shade, Ahmad, and Chigo, you know, come up with a very, very good tailored CV they can use in applying, you know, they can use to apply for jobs regardless of their formal work experience or not. So what I want you guys to put in the, you know, in the chat is, amongst these 3 personas, who exactly can you relate to? And if you cannot relate to anybody, just say I'm on my own, no. Right? So if you can relate to Shade, let me know. If you can relate to Ahmad, let me know. If you can relate to Chigo, let me know. I actually want to see it before we continue. Ahmad, Shade, Chigo, who can you relate to the most? I'm expecting feedback from you guys. Feedback. You're on your own. Israel. Israel is on his own. Okay. Faizat, Sharon. Okay, so John can relate to Chigo. That's nice. Belema, Ose. Okay, Jason can relate to Shade, which is good. Isaac, Emmanuel. Who can you guys relate to? Israel, I can see your question. I will answer it afterwards. A little bit of Ahmad. Okay, that's nice. Sharon can relate to Shade. Okay. Belema, I'm expecting feedback. In a way, Chigo, but at the same time, also it can't be both. It's either you're on your own or you can relate to them, right? But I understand, okay, it's Chigo, but also is on our own. All right. Okay. So you guys, you can still Jesus is on his own. I'm not sure. Isaac Ahmad, Tosin Shade, amazing. So we have a little bit of on my own. Okay, I actually want to ask a question. For those that said they are on their own, describe your current role now. Describe where you are so that we also ensure we cover you. Who wants to go off mute? So you can just go off mute and describe where you are now so that we can cover you in the description and the explanation. So feel free to go off mute. Oroba Jesu, Ose, do you want to go off mute and just describe where you think you are? So either
Hi
Ose or
everybody. Hi
Ose.
everybody. Okay. So for me, why I said that I think I'm a mix of Chigo and on my own is because my only experience with community projects is my NYSC. So aside that, I have not really volunteered for any other like community project. And aside from the 6 month internship I did like during my undergrad, I didn't do any other like summer internships, like all those mini ones. So I'm just in between, yeah.
Nice. Ose, is it fine if I ask you a follow-up question?
Okay.
So what did you do during your summer holidays in school?
Okay. During my summer holidays in school, I helped my mom out actually. We have business. That was basically it. So just helping her out at her store and stuff like that.
I love it. Okay, I
Yeah.
love it actually. So would definitely handle that. Oroba
Okay.
Jesu, if you don't mind, thank you so much for sharing, Ose. Oroba Jesu, if you don't mind, just go off mute and describe, like tell us a little bit about yourself, what you did during your summer holiday in school.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm still in school. I'm in my final year, but
Okay, nice.
during my summer holiday, this one, I worked at a bakery shop to make and sell pastries. But I'm now like finding interest in dabbling into social media management. That's what I'm currently doing now.
I really like it. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. I actually do appreciate it. Yes, so maybe what we'll do is we then have like 4 personas, right? So we'll quickly go through at Shade, Ahmad, Shigo, and then I want to pick like let's call Ose. Ose is our 4th persona. And Ose is someone that you helped with your family business, or either you were helping in your mommy's school, your mommy's business, your daddy's business, all through your summer holiday. That was what you did. And how exactly can you frame all of this into good work experiences? Cool. If we're ready, Joanne, I see you came off mute. I'm not sure if you have a question or you wanted to say something. Okay, maybe not. So let's look at Shade quickly. I was describing Shade. So Shade is in 300 level. She's studying biz admin, right? She went to the University of Lagos, and she's never had any formal work experience, but she's actively involved. She has a lot of ginger for like campus leadership, class representative, PRO of the department. She's all of you, you know people like that. Yeah, energetic, right? But what exactly does this translate to? If Shade should sit back, one thing Shade realizes is number one, okay, she actually has a lot of like team management, skills. What exactly do I mean by team management? Don't let all these big words scare us. I think that's the thing. One fundamental barrier or one fundamental thing that discourages people is like, it's like you reading my CV, for example. There's no way you'll not feel like inferior because I've already packaged all the big words that I can find in the dictionary there. I'm like led, designed, developed that impacted 5 million people. right? But if you actually ask me to explain it in lay terms, it's like I developed a slide that the president presented, and so everybody was impacted, right? So there are a lot of big words that if you bring it down, you can see that you can also turn your no experience into big words, right? So that's like one thing I want to say. But for someone like Shade, what exactly will Shade learn? Or what exactly has she learned, even if she doesn't know, based off all of these things she has been doing in school, is definitely team management, because she has to organize the decorator that is coming to do, in CU, we used to have something they call town and gown there. So you bring someone that will decorate, then you have to help the speaker, because you're like, oh, the speaker is coming from Abuja. When will the speaker was playing land in Lagos? When will this one? Okay, and the speaker has to go from Lagos to Ogun State, and you are coordinating all of that. And then there is what they call this thing, like souvenir and things they are going to share. So you have to call the vendors. Are you guys on your way? You are doing all of that. Event planning and execution, as someone like Shade. Another thing you do is communication and stakeholder engagement. What does this mean? Is because you're involved, you're communicating with a lot of people. You're communicating with like people outside of your school. You're communicating with the students. You're like the middleman between the students, the vendors, the event planner. You are literally the one doing a lot of stakeholder engagement. You're also thinking of problem solving as well. So think of it, you get a call from your vendor the day before the event that my stove is no longer working. I cannot meet your 10,000 pastry orders, right? You're not thinking on your speed, like you're literally thinking on the spot. I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, but okay, maybe we use this and this and this. You're problem solving. What's the so what of all the examples I'm giving? As I'm talking about Shade, I want you to start contextualizing your experience as well. What are the things you have done, right? Because you were not just sleeping at home during your summer holiday. I don't believe so. You were doing something. So, for example, you were helping your mom with the bakery. What exactly did you do? Did you realize that, okay, there was a customer that had a challenge, and the customer said it the first time. So you're like, okay, mommy, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. Problem solving, stakeholder engagement. That's what they call all these things in the business world, right? So imagine Shade has done all of these things, and now it's time for her to write a CV and she's not sure how to. How will she translate this into CV experiences? Number one thing is, so you would put, organize 3 major departmental events with 200 plus attendees, managing over 250,000 in logistics and vendor costs to deliver seamless experiences. Now I want us to focus on that sentence, and I'll break it down into 3 buckets. The first thing in your work experience section that you should make sure you are doing well is you are using the right words to start your bullet point. Imagine Shade did something like this: helped organize a school event and it was successful. We got over 200,000 in event sponsorship from the speakers. That's how she wrote it. Helped. Imagine someone say, someone has come to you to say, I organized an event. Another person comes to say, I helped to organize the event. Like, which do you think sounds more professional? Right? Please, you guys, I need you to engage. We're not talking, right? Please put it in the chat. Which sounds professional? Which sounds compelling? Which sounds engaging? Organized, I think, is the better word. That's number one thing. Number two is, right? Number two is, she said, organize 3 major departmental events. I'm sure she has even done 10, right? Or if, we just described Shade well, she could even put, organize 90% of my departmental events in a semester, 90% of it, right? Something like that. With over 200 attendees, one thing you cannot, and I also want to wrap up all of this so that I get actual feedback from you. One thing that cannot be missing in your CV is numbers. Numbers. I feel like putting this in bold. Numbers. I'm a consultant now, and I literally had a CTM yesterday. So CTM is like case team meeting with the MDP. I'm using a lot of abbreviations. MDP is the managing director and partner. And we're presenting, and the feedback he gave me was this slide. Like, your story is nice, but it's too qualitative. I want analysis. I want numbers. I want quantitative, right? So you cannot present your CV and it's just like, I organized, and it resulted in a good outcome. What is good outcome, madam or sir? Numbers, quantify. Everything you have ever done can be quantified. Every single thing can be quantified. And what quantification does it gives context. Remember that these people don't know you. These people don't know what you have done. They don't imagine you're applying, like Jason, imagine you're applying to Bank of America and all your experience so far has been in Nigeria. They don't know what is better than the other. But if you don't quantify, you worked for a company, but you put in brackets, this company has the largest market share in Nigeria. Okay, I understand now. I understand now. Not every company is Dangote that people know, right? Now I understand. Okay, I take you more serious, right? So we always need to quantify. How do you quantify? I was giving a perfect example in the YouTube video. So I said that imagine you were working with your mom in your mom's provision store. And on that line, or in that area, there are like, let's be realistic, there are like 10 provision stores. There are 10 provision stores. Your mom's zone is one of them, right? And one thing you see is, okay, there's something is just observed. And like in this our area, like this, there are 10 provision stores, but people go to this shop better. You just know that my mom's zone is the second one in terms of all of us. This other neighbors, they are the ones that they patronize the most. But my mom is like the second most patronized. How do you quantify that in market share terms? So there are 10 stores, right? Meaning that each of you have 10% market share first, baseline. How do I get 10% market share? It's basically saying, what is 100 divided by 10? If all of you, 10 of you make up 100%, if we're to split the market share, by the way, those of you that didn't study economics, I hope everybody understands what market share means. Market share means what's the volume of the market you control. For example, if I say, okay, Dangote Cement, Boa Cement, Lafarge, right? Who has the largest market share? Dangote. Why? Because it controls majority of the volume, right? So I'm also making sure that everybody's following me. So now, 100 or 10 of you, each of you baseline what controls 10% of the market share. But you know that if there were 10 crates of minerals or something of soft drinks bought in a day, this woman that is beside your mom's shop, about 5 of them is coming from her, based on, you can see, you are a knowledgeable person, right? So that means that this person mostly controls, more than that 10%, definitely. So you can say, okay, this person mostly controls maybe like 30 to 40% of the market. This is you doing estimation in your mind, right? It's a normal day. And then your mommy controls, okay, if this person takes 30%, that means the remaining 9 of us, we have to share how many percent? 70%. Your mom is the next most patronized, so she controls, let's say, 20%, while the remaining 8 share 50% or whatever is remaining. So from this analysis, you can clearly say in your CV, worked in a superstore that controls over 20% market share. Numbers. Because imagine putting that versus worked in my mommy's superstore. Like if you were the recruiter yourself, who will you pick? Right? So please, I just gave you an example of how you can quantify. Quantification is very critical. There is no way you want to put your CVs and you're not quantifying the work you did. You're not quantifying the impact. You're not quantifying the results. Everything must have numbers to give context. Right? So that's it. Let's go back to Shadi and we'll move on to some other person. So Shadi did what? Organized, led. Let's look at the word Shadi is using if she was to translate this activity. Organized, led, coordinated, developed, designed, not helped, not supported. I mean, you can use supported, but always put yourself, if I was competing against, which words make me look, which words give me that extra effect? Right? So now you did all of that. You include numbers. So organize 3 major departmental events with over 200 plus attendees, managing 250,000 in logistics and this to deliver seamless experiences. But I would even say, let's go to the second example, right? So she led a 10-member student committee that improved event turnout by 45% year on year. Especially if you're coming into the business world, there is no way you can even win without numbers. I can tell you that for sure. Like, you're not ready. right? What's the result of what you did? So for example, Ose, you helped your mom, right? So you worked, or literally, okay, so let's say worked in a leading superstore with 20% market share, where you know, helped or designed, let's use the word designed a revenue, something, announcement, this, that led to what? Based on what you did. A good example is, so you told your mom that, okay, mom, for our sales, we need to be digitizing it so that we'll know which of our products is selling well. Is it milk versus Milo? Is it this versus that? And because of you were able to just put things in numbers, right? Just all our sales that she does not even have an account, right? So she does not do anything. What you did is you brought context. So you brought order to it. You helped her to say, okay, mommy, we're now ordering it. So we know in this month, we sold 50 packs of this. We sold 20 packs of this. Okay, so we know this 50 packs is the one that is moving the most. And the reason it's moving the most is because this other competitor did not have it, right? And now you now capitalize on that in the next month. So now your sales increased from, let's say, 200,000 to 250,000. So you helped a store with 20% market share increase revenue by X percent. Don't say the numbers. Like I said, people don't understand numbers. They understand percentages. Increase revenue, rather than saying increase revenue from 200,000 to 250,000, increase revenue by X percent, which helped her to increase her market share. Now, people know that whenever they need Milo, Ose Mommy store has it. So everybody's coming to Ose Mommy store now. Now she has what? 30% market share. Numbers. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? I need you guys to respond. Okay, Emmanuel is responding, Faizat is responding. I hope you guys are learning. All right. Yes. Okay. So that's it. Quantification is a core requirement for success. Things you are quantifying. Number one, you need to quantify the work you did, impact. Number two is you need to quantify the result of the work you did. So you help them to increase market share. Oh, sorry, you help them to increase revenue. That did what? So what's the so what? That led to what? That resulted in this. That quantifying your impact as well. Right? So now let's move on to, I think we've spoken about Shade. Imagine you were Ahmad, for those that are Ahmad, right? And what you do is like, you're just like a tech bro, you're a music person, you just have this passion that your parents did not let you study the course in school. Maybe you always wanted to become a dancer. Did not let you study dance. And so during your summer holidays, what? Because like you know that you are meant to be a dancer. So you use your summer holidays to hone and refine these skills. How exactly do you frame this experience? So now, let's use Ahmad as an example. Ahmad is the tech bro, right? But maybe he wasn't studying anything tech, he was studying engineering. But all these experiences by learning codes, by writing certifications, by doing all of these things, it led him to have what? Technical problem solving, project management, collaboration and teamwork, self-learning, and continuous improvement. I'll focus on that for Ahmad's story because I think it's unique to him, right? So imagine Ahmad, he was so passionate about these things that during the summer holiday, he would himself sign up for courses. He would himself do things, right? And now, what happened is Ahmad is graduating. He has his engineering degree, but he also has a lot of certifications. He's so skilled in this area. How can Ahmad use, even if Ahmad is applying to a role in a bakery firm, in a leading bakery firm in Nigeria, how can he apply his experiences into formal work experience? How exactly will do it? Ahmad needs to showcase that he's someone that can take initiative, he's someone that is self-led, he's someone that can be independent in the way he delivers his work. Those are the things he will frame in his work experience. So example, let's use the first example, right? So he has already, maybe for Ahmad, maybe he needs that profile section that just shows that, okay, even though I've done tech, I'm engineering, I want to apply in a bakery firm. So, you need that experience section that will translate everything. But then Ahmad comes to say, I developed a personal finance app that helped over X students monitor their expenses, improving their savings by over 15% per month. If Ahmad even wants to go a step further, after this, he will put in brackets, maybe savings is a core issue students in Nigeria face today, or core challenge that students in Nigeria face today, to just show that, by doing just something small, I was able to solve a very big problem. right? And so, like I said, the words you are using: developed, participated, collaborated, led, numbers again, numbers, and then the result of your action. If you can quantify it, explain to them why this actually makes sense. So imagine you were working in a place, so you were working in a business, and the business had not been able to sell a particular product. This owner or your parents, for example, so my parents have like farms, and so let's say they've not been able to sell a particular breed of a product since. And I came into the farm, I'm just like, oh, mommy and dad, why have you not sold this thing since? It's been like, I remember it's been here for a long time. What's happening? It's like, nobody will buy it. And you begin to ask them questions. And suddenly you're like, oh, the reason you have not been able to sell it is because nobody will buy it in this way. You need to either, if it's like, let's say, a livestock, oh, mom, nobody will buy it now. How do you expect someone to come all the way from Zaria to come and pick up your chicken from here? No, you need to, what's the word? Remove the feathers, mommy, kill it, sell the processed type. Then you can even help them send it down to Zaria. The person doesn't need to come over. And your mom tries it, and now that's a major thing. This guy is always asking her for a boneless chicken. Right? And so your mommy's revenue that was almost close to zero before suddenly is going up and going up and going up. How do you put this in your CV? Right? Led the, guys, if I want to, led the transformation. You might think it's very funny, but there's something called magnifying your office. Right? There's something called magnifying your role. If I was to put it, led the transformation of a small scale business with, you can even say, inventory that has stayed long for X days, X years, X months, right? Transform the business by, moving from just like raw manufacturing to processing, which increased revenue by X%, bringing in repeat customers, and this helped the company to scale the business, something like that. All I am saying in summary is I helped my mother's chicken business move from nobody is buying a raw chicken to now she's exporting and selling boneless chicken. And it doesn't even have to be as magnificent as, okay, now she's exporting to the world and things like that. She can literally just increase her customers. But we need to think deeply into what have we done. There's no way you've not done anything. It's not possible. We've done something, just I don't think it's credible enough. Right? So that's how we would put Ahmad's experience.
Yes.
Robert Jesu, do you have a question? Okay. Okay, no. Okay, you came off mute, so let's move to Chigo, right? And the skills you would see Chigo have, things around like stakeholder coordination, communications, problem relation, things like that. Similarly, right? You use strong words at the beginning, quantify your experience, and then what? Quantify the impact and result. If possible, give context as to the scale of your result, as to the scale of your impact, as to why this is important. So for example, like I used, the previous example, my mom had not sold her inventory for X months. Now I came and now she's selling it. Quantify why it's important. Because if I really think of it, a business doesn't really they don't want people that think they know it all. People that think that I'm the best and the best and the best. No, they want someone that can take initiative. They want someone that can be self-led, someone that is independent, someone that can do. They are more interested in the soft skills rather than I have 10 names on my CV, but still, okay, the 10 names of your CV, you can't do anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please, and please, if I was to give a framework as to how to develop the work experience section, is number one, take time, think and reflect. What have I done in my entire life? What have I done with my life so far? I must have done something right. Even if you think, okay, I didn't graduate first class, I didn't graduate to the second class upper, I graduated third class. Okay, what? You can use Ahmad's example. What are you passionate about? Because most of the time, like people in school, is because they're not really interested in that course. But that means there's something else you could have been using you would have been using your time and your effort to do. Even if it's okay, like you are like Shade, campus ambassador everywhere. or you're like, Ahmad, you're not really interested in this mass communication that they forced you to study, you're interested in this one. What did you use your time for? And with that, you can now bring in to say, okay, I wasn't really sure in mass comm, but I was very serious in what? In all this campus engagement, and it resulted in actual results, or it led to actual results. Right? So the first step is, number one, you need to sit down and reflect. What have I done? You've done something. The second thing is when you now say, okay, I helped my mom in the store. Think back, I helped my mom in the store in 100 level. In 200 level, I was writing maybe one professional certification exam. In 300 level, what did I do during the summer holiday? I was learning a trade or something, right? So you think back to say, okay, I have three things I've done now. How do I frame the first one? I helped my mom in her store. Okay, when I was there, what did I do? Was I just sitting down? Or no, I was actually helping her, so I would help her do this. I'd help her do this. When I helped her, what did it result in? Okay, you're thinking, and then you now frame well. Second thing, I wrote exams. Okay, and now I'm a chartered accountant. Okay, great. Wow. Self-led, independently, start for exam, pass on the first sitting. Third thing, I learned a trade. Oh, why did I learn the trade? To be self-independent, to make sure that, okay, so I can take initiative, I can do all of this. Okay, how do I frame it? Right? So everybody has one form of work experience or the other. Now, in 9 minutes, I want to wrap up this section by like 1:30. I want someone to share their own story. So any person, I won't call someone. So I want you to, basically the process we've gone through, share your story. You can just use one experience as an example. So in this, I did this. If I was framing it in my CV, here is how I would frame it, right? And let's take 1 or 2 examples, just so it's not just me, and me. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? I can call you guys. Oh, hope you are well away. So let's call Joanne. Joanne, are you there? Joanne is not responding. Who wants to go? Tosin, do you want to go? I want to feel like you guys are actually getting value out of this thing, and it's not me talking and talking and talking and talking. Tosin, do you want to go? If you guys are speaking, by the way, you are on mute, so I cannot hear you. All right, so what of Emmanuel? Emmanuel, are you there? Okay, Emmanuel is here.
Yeah, okay. Please can you reiterate the question?
Emmanuel, I did hear your question.
I was saying, can you ask the question? I didn't get the
Oh, okay,
question.
makes sense. So I was saying, based on everything we've done so far, I want you to take one experience that you have and tell me how you would reframe it in your CV.
Okay. I think my time leading okay, how do I put it? Okay, so I was part of a club in the University of Lagos.
Okay.
More like I led the team. So we're able to come up with new stuffs in the club. More like talk sessions and all. So I think how I was able to frame it on my CV was more like I initiated um, 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 the talk session and secured partnership with other organizations working with so number of um, executives, to achieve. Um, I think the achieve part, based on what you said, how I praised it on my CV was just to achieve the SDG goals. But I think more specifically and more quantifying what I actually did, I think I would more like correct that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Emmanuel. Any other person wants to share? Any other person wants to share? Faizat?
Okay, so I would be more specific about the roles that I played during my time as an apprentice, a fashion apprentice, where I was able to transform sales and I was able to lead initiative of how to create new like kinds of fashions for like a new market and how that was able to scale the business in general. I would focus on like tailoring that to my CV.
Okay. And you would include numbers?
Yes, I would.
Definitely. Okay. All right, good. Anyone else? Faizat, if I wanted, I would have said, okay, you know what, let's do it now. Let's do it now. What are the numbers you would add? Increase revenue, market share, right? And if you're not sure, you could always Google business terms, right? There are business terms for all these things. Faizat, do you
Yes.
want us to put you on the spot or we should let you go?
Please let me go.
I should let you go. I'll think about it. All right, so we've said a lot actually in like over 1 hour. Key takeaways from today's session. Number one is you already have the experience. You just need to identify it. Everyone has the experience. Everyone has the experience. You just need to identify it. What do I mean by that? Like Faizat said, everyone has something they've done before. So whether it's the specific things you've done as an apprentice, helping your parents in their businesses, or what, even working in a corporate organization. I think it was Emmanuel that said that. We all have one experience or the other. There's no one that doesn't have any experience. You just need to identify it. And one mistake I've seen with students is, underestimating the value of what they've done. Faizat, I'm sure if you sit down and reflect now, you will see that in your time as an apprentice in this organization or in this shop, you actually helped them to do certain things that increase their sales over time. Maybe even introduce them to a new customer segment that they never thought about, right? But if you don't take time to actually reflect on it, it wouldn't come to your mind that you actually helped this organization and you brought about this value. What's the point I'm saying? Most students underestimate the value of what they've done. You want to make sure you're not doing that to yourself. Number two key takeaway is you need to present your achievements in measurable, I can't emphasize it enough, results-oriented language with numbers. With numbers, there is no way you would tell me I helped a lot of people versus I helped 100 people. Right? It's quantifiable, it's something they can validate, it's tangible. Numbers. Recruiters don't just want to know what you did, they want to see the impact. Right? So the way you frame your results is strong action words: led, designed, developed. Right? So you use those words to start out, then you say what you did, then you say in numbers. So helped or what? Led 100 people, organized, developed for X organization with X market share, where X is the numbers you calculate, right? That resulted in 20% increase in revenue. It doesn't have to be led to or resulted in 100% increase in revenue. Maybe not. But even if it resulted in 5-10%, it's still numbers that's quantifiable. And then this resulted in what? This led to what impact in the organization. Maybe helped them to, grow their market share, help them to diversify their product line. All of this. All right. So you need to present your achievements in measurable, result-oriented, quantifiable language. The third thing I want us to go with today is your journey is unique. There is no one here that has the same journey with the other person. My journey is not the same thing as Faizat's journey. It's not the same thing as Jason's journey. It's not the same thing as Isaac's journey or Tosin's journey. Your journey is unique. And you need to make sure you're not comparing your CV to another person's CV. right? While it might have the same format, it might have the same structure, this like we discussed earlier, you can't even say because you and somebody worked in the same organization. You say, oh, you worked in the same organization. What did you write in your CV? And you just copy and paste. It needs to be tailored to you. What are the actual roles you played in the organization? What did you result to? Right? So there's no one, I don't feel like, doesn't have the right work experience. You just need to make sure it's tailored, it's strategic, it's quantifiable, you're using the right words. And I am sure that if you refine your CV, for some of you already have CVs, which is good, but you need to refine it, you would actually be better positioned. Right? Now, so, oh my God, I feel like they are here. I think John was here. So remember that there was a poll and we said that there are winners and things like that. We worked in-house and chose winners for different things. Now, to be transparent, how exactly did we choose the winners? So we looked at those that were very much engaged on the group, right? So Isaac could ask questions. For those of you that were answering, good for you. We looked at those that recommended other people. So, we asked the question in the form, who recommended you and from where, right? For those that recommended. And finally, we looked at who was the first person ever to sign up for this program. Like, you didn't know anything about it, probably didn't even know me, maybe you knew me. You're like, oh, this is a program I'd like to know. I'd like to, actually learn from. So the first person ever to sign up for the program. And with that, we came up with our top 3 positions. Now, if your name is not here, doesn't mean that you're not amazing. For you to even be present today means that you actually, appreciate what we're doing here. And I want to acknowledge and thank you for that. Right. So basically, Joanne, who is not here now, but I think she was here before, so maybe network, Joanne gets to have like myself and maybe some of my friends like help her through our next job application. So like tailored guidance all through like CV up until she gets the job, hopefully. Ose gets like a free one-on-one CV review with me where I can help her just like look through, use this word, don't use this word, go back and refine, da. And then Faizat gets myself or someone else help her look through her LinkedIn to make sure it is working well and positioning her for the job of our dreams. So congratulations. Please, you guys, congratulate them. I'm congratulating them. Let me use the congratulations emoji. Congratulations to the winners. I hope, this is helpful to pushing you towards the career you desire better. So it's been an amazing time. I want to get questions from you guys. Questions, anything at all. It doesn't have to be related to CVs. It doesn't have to be related to, anything we spoke about today. It is, I'm thinking of my career this way. I know Isaac dropped off already. No, I think Isaac is here. Isaac sent a question, so I would answer that. Okay, so Sharon's already asking her questions. Either you want to go off mute, you want to ask questions, any and every question you have about job applications, career moves, career transitions, CV, cover letter. Let's use the last 30 minutes to answer it, and we call it a day. It's been an amazing session. I hope you guys see how energized I am. Yes, so please leave your questions in the comment section or you go off mute and we'll answer it. Isaac asked a question. Someone asked a question earlier. Okay, it was Israel, sorry, not Isaac. Okay. So Israel asked, but Israel is not even on the call again. So he asked, for those that want to know, does online training like McKinsey Forward Program or BCG Forage Simulation qualifies as something you can add to training section on your CV if you don't have professional certification? So I myself, I think I did McKinsey Forward Program. Yes, it's something you can put on your CV. I think you can put it under like certificates or things like that, because you do get a certificate for that program. But like I said, always qualify, always put in context. What exactly did you learn? McKinsey Forward Program in brackets, program designed to help graduates or recent graduates with problem-solving communication skills, something that explains what the certificate is about. Because someone that's never, okay, I don't know if there's anyone that's never heard of McKinsey before, but just imagine someone that doesn't know about McKinsey Forward program, right? You always want to qualify that. Questions. Can you put job simulations as job experiences? Sharon, do you want to say more? What do you mean by job simulations? Sharon, sorry, just explain to me.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, like job simulation they do like on Forex platform. I'm sorry.
Sharon, I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can we hear Sharon or it's me? I
Hello, can you hear
think
me?
so. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. All these job simulations that is
Yes, I
always
can hear you
on
now.
Forage platform. Does it count also?
I think it depends on two things. Number one, how long did it last for? And were you actually working? So, for example, I haven't never done it, so I don't really have enough of context about it. But if it's like, oh, you were working, but it's just like they didn't pay you, or it's actually not an organization, right? But you were not, but you're actually working. I've never done it, so it's interesting for me. Just to be safe, if it's not a company or it's not an organization, maybe you put it under like maybe like skills. If you actually got a certification, maybe put under like skills, professional certifications to show that okay, you actually have experience doing that thing. But I think for work experience, ideally, it should be like at least a business that exists or some place that exists. It doesn't have to be a profit business. It could be a non-profit. It could be a church, right? But at least it should be like a tangible thing, I think. But if I didn't answer your question, you can say more. Oh, Joan is back. Welcome back, Joan. Joan, we're announcing the price you won. You were not here. Faizat's question. Thank you so much for this opportunity. You'd like to learn more about the mentorship program. Can you apply? Definitely. I will say more about it when we're done with answering questions. Cool. Any questions again? Any questions? Any questions? Anything at all? You guys, does everyone here, do you all have jobs? Are you guys in the application process now? Are you about to apply for jobs? Just give me context as to where you are in life now so I can be better helpful. No one is saying, John? Okay, no one is saying anything. Okay, Jason, yes.
Hi, Faith.
Hi.
What I want to confirm. Okay, firstly, I wanted to confirm if BCG does January recruitment.
Okay.
So is
Is
that a
that the only
thing?
question?
The other question was about TSS, but you said you would talk about that later.
Okay, good, great. So yes, BCG does January and July for the graduate internship program. So if you're to come in January, you should have applied like October, November of this year. If you are coming in July, then the applications will probably be open like February, March, April of the year you want to come in. So they take in January and July acceptance, but not recruitment January and July. So if you've missed application round, that means you can apply for the opening in July, which will probably open like February, March, April of next year. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you too. All right, but Jesu, is it important to have a visible experience, I mean certification, before I get a job? I would say that it depends on the company or the industry you're applying to. If you're applying to a bank, for example, then maybe you need a certification, a relevant certification like ICANN. ICANN is quite recognized everywhere in Nigeria. If you're applying to KPMG and all these advisory firms, yes, maybe if you're applying to a tech company, maybe you don't need ICANN, maybe you need another certification. So if you're applying to consulting, for example, you don't need any certification. So the reason I say yes is if you know the certification will help you in the job you want to apply for, yes, get a certification. If it's not going to help you, then if it's just something you want, happy to. If not, maybe you don't need to. But I would say is, if you're applying for jobs over jobs over jobs and you are not getting it, I beg you in the name of Jesus, please do something. If what you actually now want to do with your time is write ICANN, even if, let's say, you want to come to BCG and you tried the first month, it didn't go. Second month, it didn't go. Use that period to write your ICANN. Because what would happen is when you now submit your CV, so that there is no gap in your CV, you can clearly put, okay, you graduated 2019, but you got your first job 2021. What did you do 2020? Okay, I sat down for my professional exam and I cleared all my papers. Good, you have an answer to the question. So I would say that if you want to apply for a job and you see that you tried the first time, tried the second time, it's not going, you need to start doing something. Then you can write a certification, you can maybe take a course online, do something that adds to that job, right? And makes you better qualified for it. Or about this, that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Final questions. Okay, let me speak about TSS before we wrap up for today. So like I said, TSS is a mentorship program that basically helps career, finance, and self-development. So it helps recent graduates in this line. Yes, and yes. We had a cohort this year, and we're going to be having another one next year. We're actually meant to have one towards October, November of this year, but life just became very busy for me, which is fine. But yes, we're going to be having another one starting January of next year. Applications will be coming out December. So follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and you will get to know. I also have your email addresses, so I would be definitely sending out when applications open to your email addresses. But yes, that's it. TSS, if you are in your final year or you're a recent graduate and you want to learn all of these things, but it's going to be very like immersive, 3 months, you are done, get your certificates. I even want TSS to become a program where you can now put your certificates, TSS, this and this course, this in your CV, in brackets, a mentorship program that does this and this and this and this, setting you up for success, this and this, with proven track record, award-winning mentorship program, this and this in your CVs, right? So yeah, that's TSS. You can definitely apply. Would put the messages on the group. I'll send it to your emails. If you follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, you would also know when it comes out in December of 2025. Yeah. Any final questions, people? Thank you, Paisat. Any final questions? No? Okay. So that brings us to the end of the workshop. To connect with me, so definitely check me out on LinkedIn, Faith Adeshayo Luani, Instagram Faith Adeshayo, YouTube Faith Adeshayo, Gmail, you have my email address there, or faith.oluwani@gmail.com for any questions. To know more about CVs, cover letter, interviews, and things like I speak about, you could check out the YouTube channel. I think the link should the QR code, should take you directly to the YouTube channel. If you haven't watched the video I made on how to write a perfect CV, I feel like that's really good, like to just ground you on everything like CV, cover letters, and things like that. So yes, that's it. For the winners of our test giveaway, please, Isaac will be reaching out to you actually. Isaac will reach out to you to get your details, to know when we can connect, and how to set you up for success with your future and everything. If any of the things we're offering, so just going back to the page, so tailored guidance through your application process, CV reviews, LinkedIn of profile audits. If it's something you are interested in as well, but you didn't win, you can reach out to Isaac as well, and he will give you further information on that. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy to give back 16 minutes of your precious Saturday time. It's been an amazing session pouring out to you. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things actually, and I hope that you don't get feedback that your CV wasn't good, you're not packaging yourself well, and things like that again in your next application. I know that everyone is going to do amazingly well, and you are going to come back and share your testimony with me. So thank you so much. Do have a nice rest of Saturday. Have a great day ahead of you. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, Faye.
Bye.